In this video, I'm going to go over a technique, and at the risk of getting my account hacked, I'm going to call it a glitch, somewhat of a glitch style. I'm using these kind of scan lines and stitching images together within the scan lines themselves. Um, but I'm also going to tell you how to do this kind of color fringe thing as well. Uh, let's see, this one's kind of cool. I just did it. Looks like Silence of the Lambs. All right, so I'm gonna launch Stipple, and oh Jesus, I'm going to load this skull in. I made this skull using a 3D anatomy app, Atlas Anatomy app. Oh man, it's awesome. Um, I'm gonna choose white for the dot color, black for the background. Uh, I mean, I can go to fine detail, but I'm gonna switch that once we get started. All right. So first off, I'm gonna make the skull bigger. All right. And I'm gonna go get a mask. Okay. So this mask right here is just a bunch of very small lines, very fine lines. And if you bring it in, I'm gonna try to get it parallel to the screen. It's a little tricky. All right, that's good enough. All right, now if you bring it in and let's go to the levels palette. I'm going to turn off auto. I'm going to pull this to about midway. I'm going to go to my dot size. I'm going to make it really small, about as small as you can make it. Increase my brush size. I'm going to decrease my density a little bit. No, actually, I'm going to keep my density up. All right. Okay, so now if you go and try to draw, you'll be like, what the hell? This is not doing anything at all. That's because the threshold on the mask needs to be turned down a bit. And I found that doing it all the way to about 25% seems to do the trick. And I'm gonna draw this a little bit, and then we're gonna hide the image. We're gonna see how it looks. We might have to make some adjustments. Yeah, let's make some adjustments. I'm gonna pull this to the left a little bit, just to open it up, just to get some more white in there, and that should maybe pull this to a little bit wider. All right, there we go. All right. So, the first part of this is using these scan lines. I'll call them scan lines for lack of a better word. Uh, okay. So in those examples that I showed you, I was doing something like this where I would then adjust. All right. Now this is an opportunity to use the fader on the reposition tools. This slider right here will allow you to see your background or see what you've drawn. And now I'm just going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to set it, and then I'm going to move my skull just a little bit. I'm going to move it down. It creates kind of this neat effect if you just pull this down slightly. So you see what's happening here. You get this kind of crazy effect. And I'm going to keep going with it. Let me move my mask a little bit. Now, if you're using Stipple Wild, this is a great opportunity to use the precision move tools, but I don't want to make this for Stipple Wild because most people don't have Stipple Wild. Uh, Stipple Wild is the experimental version, but you got to know me to have it. All right, so we're already getting it. It's already looks cool as shit. Um, I'll move it over a little bit more. I'll just do this one more time and then I'll move on to a couple other things. All right, so now we've got this. It almost looks like a broken photocopy machine or something, or something. Looks like something. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and save that because I like that. Okay, so now if you'll notice, I'm gonna go back to those images I showed. You see this one. I didn't download these images. They're just getting too big. Filling up my storage. Now this one, despite the horizontal lines that I added, which I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to do that. Just move, just turn the line sideways, and you'll get horizontal lines as well. But you'll see that I took a couple of different skull images and I basically pushed them all together by hiding them in different sets of scan lines. So let me go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to draw one. Then I'm going to push that to my gallery just in case I need to go back to it, which I will want to go back to it. I'm going to go to download. I'm going to take this sideways skull. I only downloaded 2 skulls. I don't want to go into this. If you configure this, if you follow what I'm doing, you'll be able to do it with whatever images you're trying to do. I'm not guaranteed that they're all going to look. Oops. All right, and then I'm going to move my mask a little bit. And you'll see that now I got this sideways skull. It's starting to appear on top of my other skull. And then I'm going to move the mask again a little bit. I'm going to push this to the gallery. You can push stuff to the gallery using this the arrow towards 3 dots. Maybe you want to call it a flying saucer. I kind of think of it looks like a flying saucer. All right, now I'm going to Oh yeah. So then I pushed my front facing skull back into the draw image, and now you'll see that this one starts to show up more prominently. And then I'm gonna push the sideways facing skull back in there, adjust my scan lines. You don't really have to be all that precise with the scan lines. Once you move them over a couple of times, it all kind of just it turns into a mess, but I think that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for some kind of crazy psychedelic mess. Um, so this is somewhat of an example. I'm not going to go into exactly, how I did all of it. Another cool trick you can do, just to make it a little more, the one skull a little more prominent. This is a favorite trick of everybody's. Is flop your slider so the black is on the right, and go to your dots, go to clear, and now we should be able to, I'm going to turn my mask off. Whoops. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of go back in and just just using the eraser, you can just kind of make one skull a little bit more prominent, like draw on the dark spots. And of course, you can use black instead of the clear tool. I like to use clear instead, so that way we can, we can switch the background after the fact. And if you used black, then you just have a bunch of black on your design, and it would become noticeable as soon as you switch the background color. But I think black is probably a pretty good background for all this. I'll go ahead and save that too. That's kind of cool. Okay, now how did I get that color fringe stuff? Like this. Or like this. I'm going to show you that. It's actually very simple. I'm going to go back. I'm going to delete this. Okay. Now this is one of those fun times where I like to take an image that I've already drawn in Stipple and load it back into the draw image and play with it some more. So I'm going to pick that image that I first drew because this one was better anyway. All right, so if we toggle the ghost on, we'll be able to see that image. And now what you're going to want to do, make sure you're not on clear, make sure the dots aren't on clear, right? Am I right, guys? Actually, put it on lighten. Lighten is what we want right now. And then I'm going to pick just, whoops, I'm still in the background mode. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick about middle of the spectrum green. And let's see. Okay, and now I want to pull my threshold slider all the way to the left, so we got a wide open levels palette. And pull the density down a little bit just to avoid the stipple mark, as I call it, the little dot in the middle of all of it. All right, so now first I'm going to draw this down in green. Next, I'm going to switch to blue. I'm going to go to my draw image. I'm going to just move it down slightly. And then I'm going to draw some more. Am I? Yep. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to undo what I just did there. You're gonna want overlap. Whereas before the scan lines we were kind of moving them so they weren't touching each other. Right now we actually want the thing to touch. We want our what we're drawing to touch. And the reason is because when we use lighten, we blend the colors together. So we start like where we get the blue on top of the green, it starts to go to that teal or indigo. I guess. Cyan? Yeah, cyan, I guess is the word we want. And next I'm going to pick red. And what should happen is that where the colors meet, you end up with white because all the colors blend into white. But where they don't meet, you end up with this crazy color fringe. And it kind of looks like when you have a lens that's not properly, I don't know what you call it, calibrated like for a camera, and you end up with chromatic aberration. I think that's what it's called, something like that. Anyway, you end up with this again, for lack of a better term, you end up with this kind of glitchy style, and you know, we know what happens when we throw the glitch term around. We might get hacked. Now that was a quick one. The ones that I've been doing recently, they've been on my brand new fancy smartphone, and the resolution on that is just way better than this tablet I'm using right here. So I'm getting some better results, but I don't think that should matter. I think it's really just if you you know, you put in the work, you're gonna get something cool out of it. All right, let's see, 14 minutes, 15 minutes. Ah, darn it. All right, well, I'm gonna end it now. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for using Stipple. Let me know. I'll try to make those scan lines available. Maybe I'll just put the link in the description to where you could download them. Otherwise, just shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll get them to you. All right, thanks. Bye.